I don't know. Can anybody hear me? See me? All right, let's see if I get my computer up here and we'll go for broke. All right, there's my screen. So let's see what you guys say. Ta-da. Maybe? Anybody? Hello? There we go. Old Crow, Jacob, Neat Prepper, Marianne, Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Finley. Good, you guys can hear me. All right. So, good evening and welcome to Pinball Preparedness, the channel where fearmongers and conspiracy theorists and the ignorant are our sworn enemy. I don't know, we'll spin that off of Tucker for a little bit to start, right? Yeah, it was hilarious reading the comments today on both the videos. It's like, oh, you don't understand, Putin's the good guy, or whatever. Okay, you're wrong. Neither Putin nor Zelensky are good guys. They tell you this. Okay. Or oh, you don't understand that what Biden's going to sign, that's a legally binding contract, and who's going to control everything. Like I said, the ignorant. Unbelievable. But, there's got to be plenty of them. So, let's put it this way, guys. If it wasn't for, fear porn artists and conspiracy theorists and the ignorant people, there'd be no need for the intelligent patriots that we are. Yeah. Yeah. They just make me laugh. I'm like, okay, you really want to have a fight? Okay. Because, it's one of those things. What is it? Patrick Moynihan said it back in the 70s, I think it was. You're entitled to your own opinion. You just aren't entitled to your own facts. It is what it is. I'm sorry. So, around here, it was a backbreaking busy day. I started my day out unloading about 1,000 pounds of sand for my carrots. I'm getting there. You guys will see what I'm doing soon enough. I'm close. And then did some work out in the garage and that sort of stuff. And then I got a big thank you to Buzzard Prepper, who, remember I mentioned, maybe a week or two ago that I don't use mushroom compost anymore because it's so ridiculously expensive here in town. They want like $150 a scoop. Well, he emailed me and said, well, yeah, there's this place by me. I got $40 a scoop. Do you want some? I'm like, hell, at $40, sure. He goes, okay, I'll bring it out to you. Figure, okay, thanks, I appreciate that. And obviously, I'll pay him for it, right? Turned out to find he's driving 2 hours with this stuff to come bring it to me. So we got out there, and of course, with the rains we've had and everything like that, the compost was wet, so it was too heavy for the dump trailer to lift it. So you get these two 50-year-old guys out there shoveling 10 tons of compost out of a trailer this afternoon. So I think both of us are going to get a good night's sleep tonight and a couple of Doan's pills. So, Buzzard, thank you. I appreciate it greatly. And so does Mrs. P. She said thank you, and she got a chuckle out of your friend in Maine. So, you know what I mean by that one. So paying attention to what was going on in the world today, the big one I just put up on the community board because I don't think you guys need another train wreck video, was the coal train that derailed in Nebraska. And I know what a lot of people say, and I even talked about it in a video the other day, there's 1,700 derailments a year. Which is what, 3 a day or 4 a day, somewhere there, 4 a day. I'm sorry, but if it smells like shit, it's probably shit, And you talk about the guys shooting up the transformers. You talk about the plastics plant that went up in Florida. You talk about East Palestine. You talk about every egg plant, food processing plant, yada, yada, yada. And it's amazing that you're not hearing any stories about, a trainload of toys heading to Walmart derailed today. It's all energy or chemicals, shooting up transformers or whatever it was, it it just stinks. And I mean, again, we can all, you know, one, two, three. You know, by the time you get to three, four, five, six, seven, you know, we're getting into a pattern at this point. So that was it. You know, other exciting thing today, there, as I was coming back from the hardware store with my load of sand today, there was a bank robbery. So yeah, in little New Tazewell, Tennessee, all of a sudden these cops all just go flying past me, and they're right in front of this bank that's in front of Walmart. And you know, of course, why would you send, you know, state troopers and every cop in town to a little bank that sits in front of Walmart? You know, it's not like there was a sale on donuts or something like that. So, bank robbery. But apparently, this bank gets robbed quite often. I was looking at the stories, and it just robbed back in January too. They caught that guy too. But yeah, not a good place to work. But that will tell you it can happen anywhere, guys. Always be prepared. Okay, you never know when you're going to be standing in line at the bank, and the guy behind you says, "Everybody, put your hands up." Okay, just say it. All right, so let's get into the fun part of tonight before I keep rambling and rambling, because I figure you'll have the questions to talk about. There's not a whole lot I need to mention because we all know what's already going on. So, first off, thank you to all my moderators who are here again, as they are every Tuesday and every Saturday without fail. I mean, every once in a while they call in sick, but not often. So, we'd love to have some of these people as employees. But yes, so all right. In regards to the rules for chat, for anybody that's new, this is all Q&A. If you have a question for me, like every other YouTube channel out there, please put it in all caps. That way I can see it. There's 1,400 of you guys in here and one of me, so it makes it easier on me. We get through a lot more questions that way. The only thing that I do require, and moderators are real good at policing this, is treating everybody else in here with respect. Okay, disagreement is fine. Okay, just none of this. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yada yada yada. You can state your case and move on. You're entitled to your own opinion. Yes. Okay. You're not entitled to belittle anybody else in the channel. Those are the rules. It's my house, my game. Period. That's how it works. So, all right, let's get into this. Ooh, nice catch. Okay, let's get back up to the top here. All right, we got the good evenings, and let's see, where's first questions? Daddy T, how did I come to be known as Pinball? Okay, for the 82nd time. It was my call sign when I was in the Army. We were driving around at National Training Center in a 113, and I was the driver, and everybody was bouncing all around, and the tank commander said, "You got us bouncing around back here like pinballs," and he started calling me Pinball for the rest of training, and it stuck. So, Catwoman 63, did SCOTUS reconsider the Brunson case? I know they were hearing oral arguments on two cases. One of them was the case, what was it, Section 230, I think it's called, or whatever it is. I haven't heard anything at all if they were even entertaining anything about hearing the Brunson case whatsoever. So that, if anything's happened on that, I don't know. Last I heard was a month ago they decided they weren't going to take it up. I haven't heard anything since. Definitely P. Do you plant your tomatoes deeper into the ground, and do you use an aqua cone stake to water them? Okay, so planting tomatoes deep in the ground. Just for those of you guys that don't know, most plants you plant right to the top of the root ball, right? Even if you're little seedlings, just to the top of the root ball. Tomatoes, when you put them in the ground, you want to get them as deep as you can. Okay, so if it's got 6 leaves on it, pull off those bottom 4, plant it as deep as you can, and just keep those top 2 leaves out. The reason being is all those little hairs on the stem, those are actually root nodes. And so you will build a much stronger tomato plant by planting it deeper. If you've ever seen it, you can plant a tomato sideways Try to do this without breaking a finger, and tip up the tomato at the end, and it'll grow very well. Okay, if you've got harder soil or something like that, you can do it that way. As for using an aquacone stake, no, I don't. I mean, I use overhead watering, and that's it. Okay, works fine. Cersei, you were wrong about Putin going into Ukraine. Yeah, that was a year ago. Okay, thanks. We all know that. What's your point? Let's see. Linda Bob. Hello, Pinball. Mrs. Pinball. Ain't it good to be alive these days? For real. It's good to be alive, but I mean, even Mrs. P, was it this morning or today's been one of those days, guys. I've been up since like 1:30 in the morning. I haven't been to sleep yet. And, because we stayed up and watched Putin's speech and all this sort of stuff. I couldn't sleep last night. And we were talking about something that was going crazy last night, and she made the comment, she goes, isn't it insane that we're even having this conversation? And I think about that, it's like, how many of these conversations, like, do you ever think you're going to be talking about World War III, nuclear war, the poisoning of, trains? I mean, it's insane, the videos that I'm making, other channels are making, or whatever it is. Not the ones that are screwballs out there. There's plenty of those, okay? But I'm talking about the ones that are actually talking about real things that are going on. And go, can you seriously believe we're having this conversation? Go, really? Can we go back 2 years or 3? Let's go back to 2019 and just have Groundhog Day from 2019. Just keep it like that. We stop with 2020 and everything forward. Yeah, Dave Moran. Isn't that the truth? So much for classified documents. Isn't it funny how that one's just completely disappeared? Okay. Oh my God, we're going after Biden. We're going after Mike Pence. We're going to go look more after Trump. Yada, 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 yada. And then all of a sudden, all this other stuff happens, and it's like, classified documents? Who's talking about what? It's divert attention. Somebody asked me today, do I think that Biden is in Europe right now because he knows something's going to happen while he's gone? I doubt it, but is it possible? Sure. Who knows? CJ Black, I saw this somewhere else too. If we're sending all our tax money to Ukraine, can we each claim Zelensky on our taxes? That's about the truth. I mean, give you this, guys. The GDP of Ukraine in 2021 was $200 billion. We have sent to them nearly their entire gross domestic product in 1 year. For 1 year. Okay. I mean, everything, GDP, that's all the products, all the services, everything like that a country makes in a year. And we have sent them that out of your paycheck, out of my paycheck, okay? Rather than send $200 billion to East Palestine, Laredo, Texas. I don't know, they got anything going on down in Texas right now that might be able to use a little bit of money? Let's think about this. Nah, you know what? We won't send anybody to East Palestine, but I'll go to Ukraine. Pete Buttigieg yesterday. I'm going to East Palestine today. Oh, I have a schedule conflict. I can't go. Must have been his day to do chest feeding or something. I don't know. Tennessee lady, have I constructed a fallout shelter yet? No. I'm working on a garage. I still got something above ground. No, and I have no intention of building a fallout shelter. I laugh at the companies that make them. It's like, yeah, and you can buy this fallout shelter. It's only $149,000. And thinking to myself, that's more than some people have spent on their house. Yeah, can you imagine trying to explain to your spouse, honey, I've got this great idea. We own an $80,000 house above ground. Let's go put a $150,000 one below ground. Right. I'm assuming this is North Dakota, ND Prepper. What is the time frame you grow your sweet potato slices? Sweet potato slips take a while to start. I start mine in early January to be planted in late spring or early summer. Okay. To get good slips, it's going to take you 4 or 5 months. So, you need to have those long since going because, I mean, you're going from something that's got nothing and it's got to start. Okay. So, yeah. Not square to prepare. Do I use a computer program to track my garden? I use it to plan. I use the one on Farmer's Almanac. I talked about that about a year ago. Uh, you can go on there and use it. It's a 7-day free trial. It's, I don't know, $20 or something like that to use it for the month or for the year. And it'll tell you rotational gardening. It'll tell you, okay, I've got a 4x6 space that I want to plant cabbage in. It'll tell you how many cabbage you can fit in that space, what are the correct spacings, when you should start at seed, when you should plant it in the ground, when you should expect to harvest. I find it useful. Not everybody does. One of the best things I like about it is it shows me how because you should rotate your crops. Don't grow tomatoes in the same spot every year because you're just going to start building up disease in that area that kill your tomatoes off. But it'll remember last year and say, no, you planted peppers here. You don't want to plant tomatoes here. They're both nightshades or whatever it would be. So, there's some, it's not for everybody, but yes, I do use one and that's what I use. Huts John, if we get hit with an EMP, what are my first 5 actions? That's a great question. I've never even thought. I mean, it would be very reactionary. Depending on how far you go, it's like, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the circuit breakers. I'm going to make sure that we didn't blow a fuse or something like that. I'm going to try to call the electric company and see what's going on. Once I get a quick busy, then I'm going to realize real fast that, okay, it's more than just a power outage. At that point, I'm going to make sure everybody's safe, and I'm probably going to make sure that wherever I am, I have my friend on my hip, and make sure that I know, start getting my plan organized. Okay, what am I going to do? Now, it depends. Is this the middle of the night? I don't know about it. Is it 2:00 in the afternoon? You don't have any lights on anyway. You're really not paying attention. Again, depends on where it comes, but the first 5 things you can do are probably be very mundane. It's going to be the next 10 once you realize that it was an EMP. Okay, what do we got to do? That's when you're going to be going, all right, I got to, check my water. I've got to work on more water. I've got to see what works, what doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a very good question, though. And I don't have a very good answer. Dfreak, our county school district had false shooter calls all day, so that was a mess. Yeah, anybody who's doing that kind of crap, the swatting type things or anything like that, that should be a do not pass go directly to jail. The hell with $200, okay? Straight to jail. You can sit there and rot until your court day for, again, domestic terrorism. Vester Dillon, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Pinball. I canned 14 pints of chicken breast in the past couple of days. Good. You're going to be happy you have it there. Okay? Now just make sure you rotate it. Put it in the back and figure, okay, in a year I can eat these. That's it. Start in a year. Go through, eventually you want to get to a point where you're looking at the label going and laughing, going, this is from 3 years ago. It's dinner. And that's it, Yeah, consider this. For a train wreck dumping a load of beer. Why can't we have one of those? Can you imagine? Just don't be Corona. That just makes, if it is, please be in bottles so it all breaks. Mary Marks, price of jumbo eggs in southern Indiana went from over $5 to $3.09. Surprising. Yeah. I mean, we all know that there was probably a lot of gouging going on with the eggs too, because bird flu, bird flu, bird flu. Hey, you know what? We'll charge more. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, you know, that was last week's news. Okay, we got to bring the prices back down again. There was a lot of that going on. I'm gonna try this. Terry Breckheisen. Are the rail workers derailer are the rail workers derailer in retaliation of being forced back to work without a contract? Okay, I'm gonna try to translate what you're asking here. I really, really highly doubt that the employees are the ones that are liable for this. Uh, it, I can't think of a good reason because again, you know, where am I? If I'm the engineer, I mean, mind you, there's only a couple of people on a plane or on a train anyway. Okay, the engineer goes, "Hey, cool. You know what? I'm in East Palestine. This is a great place for me to dump a load of chemicals." And then I'm stuck here because I live 300 miles away. So, yeah, I'll give. I'll completely agree with the fact that our rail system is old, archaic, isn't well maintained. Uh, I'll totally agree with that. That's a very good possibility of what it can be. It still could be a possibility that it is eco-terrorists. Uh, it could be a combination of both. Okay, that's probably the most likely idea is that you have some whack jobs out there and some of it is just shit happens. Okay. Debbie Minton, did the pond fill up? Yeah, pond's about as full as it can be right now until I get that last uh, 10, 12 feet or whatever that I've got to fill a low spot with, and then I can get about a foot more water in and I'll be good. So, but as for being deep enough right now to put fish in and everything like that, yep, I'm ready. I was at the co-op the other day asking if they know when fish day is yet. They don't have a schedule, so I'm still waiting. JD Prepping Erie, why gas is so low and how long I think it'll stay here is I'm guessing what you're asking. I don't know where you're seeing gas low. Gas around me is $2.99. Okay, it's certainly not the $1.99 it was 2 years ago under the real president. It's not $5, I will give you this, but it's still significantly higher it is when the potato took office. How long do I think it'll stay here? What is this, February? 3 months, okay? Until we start getting into summer and they switch over to summer blend, which is more expensive. And then we're going to have that issue. And again, we have no idea what's going on with getting oil. Okay, Biden's doing everything he can to stop drilling. Iran is, of course, enriching uranium, so that's going to really help the price of oil in the Middle East. Certainly not getting any from Russia. Mexico, they've already came out and said that they don't want to sell us anymore. So us in Canada are pretty much high and dry here. So yeah. You'll see the normal seasonal spike in the summer. Where we go, there's too many political ifs in it right now. The rest of the story, thank you for your super chat. What are my thoughts about the pipe bomb that was found on the railroad tracks in Philadelphia today? What are your thoughts about the movie White Noise that was allegedly filmed in East Palestine last year? Okay. If I'm not mistaken, the pipe bomb was found, unless my days are all blended together. I thought the pipe bomb in Philly was yesterday, unless there was another one. But the one I know of it was behind a church. It was an 18-inch pipe bomb. There's a set of tracks that runs behind a church. And so there's an 18-inch pipe bomb that somebody found there. unless, and again, I don't know. Okay, I'm telling you what, asking my thoughts. All I can tell you is the information that I know at this point. Uh, was it the pipe bomb directed at the tracks, or was it directed at the church? I don't know. Uh, could it be directed at the church? Sure. There's been a whole lot of anti-Christian stuff going on in the country for the last couple of years. There's no question there. Okay. Uh, and I say anti-Christian because it was a church. It wasn't a synagogue, so obviously it's not a Jewish thing or a mosque or something like that. So somehow a Christian thing. Could it have been on the tracks? If it's put on the tracks, then it leads right back into what I said about eco-terrorism. But, either way, it's a pipe bomb that is targeting something that is near and dear to you and me, either our religion or our supply chain. So, as for my thoughts about the movie White Noise, whether that is a coincidence or not, I mean, the movie is very close. Okay, the difference is it wasn't a derailment in the movie; it was a truck crashing into the train. But that is a very, very eerie coincidence that even some of the people who live in East Palestine who were affected by the real issue were extras in the movie last year when they put that out. I still say this, okay? And Hollywood has a habit of, everybody says, oh, Hollywood is predicting what's going to go on. I think it's the other way around. I think people see something in the movie and go, hey, that's a good idea. Let's go do that. And I mean, you can think of anything. You can think of all these, this movie and the actual event. Okay. Hey, let's make that really happen here in our town. Could have been. I said on a live stream maybe a few weeks ago, think of cell phones and the communicator from Star Trek, and they flipped it open and then they were talking. It was no different than our first flip cell phones. Sometimes the ideas come from the creative minds in Hollywood. And it puts the thought into somebody's head, hey, we could do that and make it, let's see how cool it really is. Congratulations, you just caused the worst environmental disaster in the history of the United States. That's cool. Not. Okay. Trilobe, do I have any discount codes for Wellbots and EcoFlow? The one I have is what I put up on the Mini the other day when I did that. I don't know if there's any other ones that are still active. The only thing I can say is you can go back and watch the videos. They shouldn't be hard to find because the photograph on every one of them is me sitting in front of a generator. So you can look in the description and try the codes for whatever you're trying to buy. I turned a mute on my phone. You guys are still getting the noises on the phone? Crap. Sorry about that, guys. I've got it down to mute. I can't turn it to airplane mode because if I turn it to airplane mode, then I can't do the live stream. Live in Tennessee. When can I plant my Irish potatoes? You're going to make me look at this, and I didn't. This is you guys asking me if I have this all on computer. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to the Farmer's Almanac Garden Planner. Excuse me. So let me see if I can get it open. I will tell you. I'm going to take a guess. You're saying you're living in Tennessee. I'm going to take a guess you're in the same zone as me, as 6B. If you're southern Tennessee, you're probably zone 7. So it'd mean a little earlier. But if you are in 6B, you are planting potatoes mid-April. So do your taxes, plant your potatoes. Okay. Let's get back to this. Okay. Vester Dillon, I don't understand. Sounds like my ex. You did something wrong 10 years ago. I don't understand the context. Yeah, August Blue, $200 billion could harden us against an EMP. Yeah, you think about that. What is one thing Biden promised to do? Hey, we'll rebuild the entire electric grid for Ukraine. Great, Joe. What about rebuilding ours? You know, the thing that, is held together with Band-Aids and Scotch tape. Uh, that the lightning strikes. I mean, we lose power here every 6 weeks or so. I mean, sometimes it's for 5 minutes, sometimes it's for an hour. But yeah, I mean, the wind blew over a tree, power's out. There's a lightning storm, power's out. Yada, yada, yada. I mean, there's whatever would be. Okay. EMP, forget it. Peggy Sue, pray for President Carter on hospice in Roslyn. Yeah, I mean, I will say this, okay? Jimmy Carter sucked as a president. As a man, he was a good man, okay? His heart was in the right place. Everything he did with Habitat for Humanity throughout his post-presidential life and everything like that, he was a good man, okay? He was just in over his head as a president. I don't know, kind of like what we're dealing with now. But, as a person, yes, as a person, he was a good man. Okay, but he's 98 years old. It's not like he's missed out on any life. So, you think about it. His presidency ended 43 years ago. It's a pretty good retirement plan. Chris Servan, if Biden gave as much as I'm assuming to us, as to Ukraine, maybe we'd like him. No, no, not happening. Biden giving a bunch of money to anybody is part of the reason why we're in this fiasco that we're in, because it's what caused all the stupid inflation. Not that Trump is totally immune from that, because Trump did some of the stimulus money too, but Biden's been spending money on steroids here. Kit Carlson, I want to buy clothes as expensive as Zelensky's wife is now wearing. Meanwhile, he wears the same T-shirt. Oh yeah, he's the fashion, the olive drab sweater and khaki pants. It's like, I've got to wear this every day. It's like, how embarrassing. Personally, I think, yeah, you're going to the halls of Congress to give a speech. Put a freaking tie on. Okay, where was he? He was in front of Parliament in the UK or something like that. Same thing, same green clothes. It's whatever. It's like, dude, you're a clown. You're an actor. You're not a soldier. You like to dress like one, but you are not a soldier. Don't even try it. Rural Internet Prepper, thank you for the super chat. Have I heard of the EMP Alert plug-in device for your home from Disaster Prepared? Do you think it would help? Alert, or pretty much once you lose all power, you know something's up? I don't understand what it does. I mean, it's going to tell you that we got EMP'd. I'm going to pretty much know that when the clocks don't work, my lights don't work, the air conditioner shuts off or the heater shuts off. I'm going to have a good idea that the power's out. So I don't really see the point of something to tell me something that's going to be pretty obvious. But hey, if somebody's going to make some money off of it, right? There's, a fool and his money are soon parted. There'd be plenty of people that go, oh, this is cool. Great. Susan Lathrop, story on Fox, Pentagon email server left exposed for 2 weeks. I saw something like that briefly this afternoon, where there were a whole bunch of military emails that were basically unsecure. And I'm thinking to myself, are you freaking kidding me? Okay. First off, anything that's going to be mission critical is going to be on some sort of secure server. That would be the Pentagon's responsibility. But hey, let's look at those great generals that that Biden has in Pentagon. Yeah, it doesn't surprise. Incompetence Incorporated is the nickname for the Biden administration. Small farm living, in your opinion, do you think anyone in this administration will ever be held accountable? No. Very simple, no. because the thing is, I forget, there was a TV show or a movie one time. I don't remember what it was, but the guy said to the other guy, he goes, now you got a chip. Like, now you got a chip in the game. Now you've got some dirt on somebody else. And everybody in Washington has dirt on somebody else. Oh, if you take me down, you're going too. Oh, if you take me down, I'm taking down him, and he's going to take you down. And that's where the corruption just is ridiculous. Oh my God, you know, I mean, I'm still convinced the reason why we're in Ukraine is because Biden is protecting his ass from all the corruption. He's protecting all the politicians, both parties, who've been laundering money through Ukraine for years. You know, that's why everybody's like, we've got to send more money to Ukraine. You know, we got to pay them off. Otherwise, you know, because God knows if Zelensky runs his mouth, we're all screwed. That's it. Oops. When do the people say the hell with this government and become free from BS? Something's got to happen. Okay. Remember, we still have half of this country who's ignorant. Okay. We have more than half of this country is ignorant. Plenty of sheep running around out there. That'll happen when there's no food in the store, there's no gas at the gas station, there's no power. You know, maybe there's no water. Okay. It's not going to happen because the YMCA pool is closed on Saturday. That's not going to make a difference. But when a basic necessity is gone, that's when people are going to go, what happened? How in the world are we out of food? Go, dumbass. We've been telling you for 3 years, you know, but yeah, it's going to take something. I mean, it could be Joe declaring war on somebody, okay? That people are going to go, no, I'm not going, or no, I'm not sending my kid to go fight some idiotic war, okay? And that's when you'll have people stand up. It'll take something big. Matt, when should we start circling the wagons and gearing up for real action? Crystal ball's still in the shop. Let's see. Dr. Data, is Clyde's garden planner good? I have no idea what Clyde's garden planner is, so I can't tell you. Lady D. Haney, I like yellow sweet potatoes and white eggplant. Do I grow either of these two veggies? I don't like eggplant, period, so no. And yellow sweet potatoes, you're going to grow them the same as orange sweet potatoes or purple sweet potatoes or anything like that. There's, you know, they all grow the same. It's just a different variety of them. Michael Berger, how are my plants in the garage doing? Well, we've already been eating off the lettuce. So I'll give you an idea how that's been going. It's, you know, cut and come again lettuce. So just break off like 16 leaves the other day, and we made burritos with chicken and guacamole, I think it was. So that was, you know, it's like, all right, we'll use a bunch of stuff we got around the house, and that was it. The cabbage are probably leaf to leaf, about 18 inches wide at this point. That's why I was wanting to get that compost today, because I need to get that spread out, because those cabbages have to go in the ground early, because I wasn't expecting them to grow like this. And I've got all my other ones that I just planted yesterday. Just started my seeds for those. Kevin Little, do I practice and hone my firearm shooting? If you do, how and how often? It's basically target practice. I'll get up with Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Preps. I mean, they've got, 30 acres or something like that up there. And we'll go up there and practice firearm shooting, whether it's pistol shooting, whether it's rifle shooting, whatever. It's all target shooting. We are not doing anything like, tactical drills or, urban drills or anything like that. No, it's just making sure that you got muscle memory, you know how to use your weapon, make sure the weapon still works, make sure the ammo is still good. Ammo does go bad, guys, just so you know that, okay? It'll eventually not fire. But no, I mean, as for, we're not doing Green Beret drills or anything like that. It's stationary paper target drills. I'm sure I understand we could do better than that, but you do what you can. It's not like we can go run around shooting at people. Yeah, that's it. Uh, Vicki and Marianne Bradford. Do you really think China will be stupid enough to step on U.S. soil? Your thoughts and how long? Thanks for all you do. See, this is the thing. I don't think it's going to be. If you read that speech that I talked about yesterday, okay, and in there they talked about using a biological weapon to wipe out the United States. Gee, I don't know. Do they make biological weapons in China? Okay. And then, again, that speech is from 20 years ago, right? Technology's advanced. Now you got EMP technology that China probably has. One of the two. What they're going to do is somehow let us wipe out the majority of ourselves, and then they just come up as the cleanup crew. Go, oh, okay, there's 5,000 people left in this city that used to have, 500,000. Great. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, city's clear. That's it. You know, and they're just going to run through like stormtroopers. It's, if we've depopulated ourselves 90%, they're not going to be any big deal for them. And again, I want you guys, you need to remember this. We got 335 million people in the United States. The Chinese have about 2 billion. Let's say 90% of both populations disappear. That means we've got 33 million people left. Okay? What does that mean China has? 200 million. Okay? Yeah, they can, they're still 7-1. They can easily do something like that. Now, they're not going to bring in every, mother and child and everything like that over. But again, not everybody who's going to be left in the United States is going to be 18 to 25, fighting age, whatever it would be. We're going to have women, children, elderly, et cetera, too. So the ratios stay the same. If we're outnumbered 7-1, that means, just so you understand this, guys, in order to maintain your survival, you're going to have to take out 7 people for yourself to survive. Just put that into play. Just Jay, if EMP happens in the United States, do we also need to concern ourselves about chemical plants near us? Absolutely, depending on what's going on. Think about nuclear plants, or anything that they've got going on. If the plant requires electricity to be safe, and there's no electricity, guess what? The plant's no longer safe. Okay. This is the thing. Nuclear meltdown? Yeah, it's a possibility. Okay. How hardened are the nuclear facilities against an EMP? You'd hope very well, but it doesn't do any good if the nuclear plant is hardened and the electrical generation plant isn't. Now they've got backup generators and everything like that as well, sure. But don't count on. How much do you trust Pete Buttigieg? Remember the guy who was our nuclear or whatever the hell it was here up until he got caught stealing luggage in Minneapolis and Vegas? How much do you trust the Biden administration and their choice for the people in charge of the nuclear facilities in the country with that whack job? Okay, this is what you're looking at. If Pete is more worried about white construction workers than environmental disaster train derailments, and your nuclear, whatever the hell the guy's title was, is more concerned about stealing women's clothes, yeah, I'd be very worried about chemical plants around you. We already talked about that. EMP checklist item number 1, see if your gun safe will open. You better have a key. The batteries can go out too. Let's see. Schatzi, a hand crank phone charger that actually works. Yeah, the only problem with that is, what's the point? You get a hand crank phone charger, unless you got want to play the downloaded music you have on your phone. You ain't making a phone call, all right? EMP comes, it's going to wipe out the cell systems too, guys. So sitting here for 3 hours cranking your phone to go, why isn't anybody answering? That's exactly what's going to happen. You you'll have your phone, your $1,000 iPod. Okie Forge, we got our EcoFlow Mini delivered today, charged up and stored in the gun safe in case of an EMP. There you go. Thunder Chicken Ranch, it was the condition of the rails which the company has neglected. If it is, Norfolk Southern better be writing some big freaking checks. Okay. But somehow they'll be, well, it wasn't our fault. The government should have done this, and the government will come in and go, got a little bit of green for grease the palm. Yeah, you know what? We probably should have done that. So we're going to take some of the blame for it. Okay, I'd like to sue the U.S. government. Oh, that's right, you can't. Oops. Yeah, it'll get. They should be taking care of a lot, but the people in East Palestine, are going to get screwed, glued, and tattooed. Cushnet Prepper, somebody put a silver dollar on the tracks. CC, how do you know when you can put fish in the pond? I believe the water needs to be 55 degrees before you can put fish in. And again, I'm getting it from the co-op, the farm store. Okay, they're not going to be. You wouldn't. They wouldn't be selling fish until the water temperatures in the local area should be about there. David Schaffo Jr. Hello, Pinball. What's your prediction of the 3 worst things that may happen this year? Oh, God. Okay, so let's see. 3 worst things. Joe Biden dies. You go, why could that be a bad thing? Because that would make Kamala Harris president. World War III starts. Who knows by who? By Russia, by Ukraine, by China, by Iran. That would be one of the worst things. What would be another worse one? The 3 worst things. This one I think is actually possible. Is we have some devastating natural disaster in the United States, like a major earthquake or Yellowstone or something like that. I think that one's a possibility that can happen. We're seeing Turkey really taking it on the chin. Turkey and Syria with these. What was it? They had a 5 point something either last night or something again. So they're still getting hit. We have something go up. New Madrid isn't too far from me. Obviously, you guys know San Andreas. There's plenty of fault lines. That would be chaotic. There you go. Way to put me on the spot. Let's see. I can give you the facts on the spot. The opinions sometimes I got to think about. What section of Philadelphia was the pipe bomb placed? That I do not know. Lake Lizard, can executive orders be overruled by a vote of the House or the Senate? Well, there's the problem with it is an executive order can be put through, and then the House and the Senate can write a bill. Let's make something simple. Joe writes an executive order that all dollar bills here on forth must be printed with red ink. Okay. And Congress comes up and says, nope. And the House writes it, says it all has to be printed with green ink. And the Senate votes it and says, yep, it all has to be printed with green ink. And Biden goes, veto. Okay. Executive orders are basically impossible to overturn until the president is not there anymore. Unless, of course, they're unconstitutional. But SCOTUS can do it. Okay. But Congress isn't going to be able to do anything because anything they write, the president's going to sign. And he's not going to he's not going to sign a bill that's going to contradict what he gave an executive order for. Oops, shot to the bottom. Okay. Lorraine Diaz, when are we going to be the government priority? You're kidding, right? Okay. You're the government's slave. That's it. Okay. You know, white person bad, citizen bad, man bad, straight bad. That's it. Okay. You're replaceable to the government. You know, I get such a kick out of politicians going, oh my God, straight white males are such a detriment to humanity. And I'm going, dude, like 70% of you in Congress are straight white males. Maybe in that respect, I'll agree you're a detriment to society. But, they always say people don't vote against their own self-interest. Really? Laura Gainey, off subject, but do I use an Alexa Pure or Berkey water filter on the fence of which to get? I do not have an Alexa Pure. I have a Berkey. We do not use it. And then I've also got the water filter that I just showed you guys the other day, and that is put up for emergency use as well. Right now, we use our zero water. So all I'm doing is filtering the water out of the well. Okay. If I had to filter the water out of the pond, or if I had to filter rainwater or something like that, yes, that's a different thing. But I mean, the well is going through our filter system on the house and everything like that, so that's fine. But Berkey or Alexa Pure, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It just matters which one you like better. Both are very good products. Purple Chris, our cell phone's been out all day. People are flipping out. I don't know why. I know it sucks when you're so used to it. It's like, okay, honey, what do I need? Wait a minute, I have no signal. We're used to that around here because there's plenty of places I can drive. It's like talk to somebody. Oh, I'm going to lose signal in 20 seconds. Okay, call you back in 5 minutes. Because we know where all the dead spots are in the mountains. Definitely P. How do you cure sweet potatoes? Easiest way to do it, just put them on a rack, like a wire rack is the best thing, in dark, cool area. Let them sit for about a week, and that's it. You just want those skins, just like regular potatoes, the skins to toughen up. You don't even need to do it. I don't, because we can all our sweet potatoes. And so as soon as I pick them, I bring them in and I par bake them. I think I did a video on this. So the skins are easier to come off. You ever tried to get, sweet potatoes, the goofy shapes you get, try with a potato peeler, drive yourself insane. So if you par bake them, the skins will get soft and you just rub them off with your hands, slice them up, and we can them right away. They're fine. I know people say, oh, gee, you need to let them cure because they'll sweeten, whatever it is. They're totally sweet, when we can them. I mean, they're fine. And I think about it, it's like, yeah, I really need to worry about those sweet potatoes being totally cured when I bring them out and put brown sugar and marshmallows all over them. I think I'm okay. So, Thunder Chicken Ranch, have I seen the movie Dragon Day? No, I have not. I've never heard of it. So, my McIntyre, finally someone besides me doesn't like eggplant. Yep. No eggplant, no okra, no collard greens, no... Glenwad, been hitting the gym and training with my firearms. Feels like something big is coming soon. Good for you. Okay. More of us need to do more of that. The hitting the gym part, the getting the exercise is important. I think today shoveling 11 tons worth of stuff counts as exercise. But yeah, I mean, always more training with your firearms is good. The problem is of course, it gets expensive. I mean, even if you go, oh, gee, ammo's cheap right now, it's only 30 cents a round. Great. You go fire off one magazine in your AR. Well, there was $10. That's literally what you're looking at. Brody, do I plant any garlic? Yeah, I got 99 heads of garlic growing in the ground outside. Garlic goes in around Thanksgiving. So, yeah, it'll be ready for harvest in July. Garlic takes about 9 months to grow. Jamie Dolan, do I plant by the moon phases or dates? No. I've heard of it, everything like that. I don't put any faith in it whatsoever. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be, but I've never planted that way and don't have any problems with my garden. No zip line drills. There you go. Bob Wiley, do I have chickens? No, I do not. Purple Chris, 2 towns are out. Can't get a hold of anyone. Okay. Hope you're not by a military base. Let's see. Miranda Babcock, any thoughts on ham radios as a means of organized communication? You need to have multiple ways of communication, okay? Because remember this, the only way you're going to communicate with somebody else is if they also have that form of communication. If your neighbor up the street has a CB radio and you have a ham radio, guess what? You're not talking to them, okay? They do not work together, okay? So you need to have multiple ways. Two-way radios, programmable where you have a private channel. Two-way radios are great to use in your mag, especially for something like when you have guard duty in your CQ, right? Guard duty is the guy who's walking the perimeter or whatever. CQ is the one who's inside the house, who, while everybody else is sleeping, he's the one who, if the guard says, oh my God, we're being attacked, the CQ is the one going to wake everybody up. Okay. That's literally how that one would work. Two-way radio works there. Okay. But then if you want to communicate with people around nearby, a mile or so, it's probably going to be CB radio. Okay. Because you can go through a whole bunch of channels. You can pick up chatter. You may learn things, talk, listen more than you're talking, the old 2 ears, 1 mouth thing. Ham radio, now you're talking about picking up at a distance, okay, depending on how many repeaters you're going through or whatever. You've got family that are states away or whatever. That may be your only means of communication. So yeah, you need to have all the different types and you need to know how to use them. And the person who you plan on talking to needs to have the appropriate type and they know how to use it. If let's say you're going to have, my daughter is in Indiana. Let's just use her as an example. Okay. And get her on ham radio and me on ham radio. She's not going to be monitoring ham radio for 24/7 for days upon days or whatever it is. You're going to have a standing thing. Every Tuesday night at 7:00, I'm going to call you on the ham radio. And then if I don't call on Tuesday, then she knows something's wrong. I mean, that's how it's going to work out to be. You need to plan those things ahead of time. Love Child, how deep to plant my squash? It's trying to grow up my window about 8 inches. Squash, you're just planting to the root ball. Okay. Don't try to plant that deep like tomatoes or whatever. If you're, wherever the top of the roots meet the stem, that's where you're going to plant it too. Von Mousetrap, did I see the explosion in the neighborhood next to the Palestine? I heard somebody emailed me quickly about it before the live stream. I did not get a chance to look at it, so no, I don't know anything about it, but I did hear about it, yes. Buzzard Prepper. As they say, I trust old gas station sushi more than I trust Pete. That's about the truth. Trying to go through last couple here in the last minute. Who would buy all of Dragon's crap goods if they take out the U.S.? Oh, I mean, their two biggest trade partners are Venezuela and Cuba. So, yeah, you got plenty of that. Tracy Bunny 38, can you find out what a railroad near your home routinely transports? There probably is some way to do it because, I mean, I don't know how, but inevitably, I'm betting somebody here in the live stream works for a railway and knows where you can find out that information. I'm hoping they answered because obviously I'm behind. Last one, Jay Myers. If invasion happens, invaders will be treated like the soldiers in the first Predator movie. Pretty much. Okay. And trust me, if all of a sudden I see Robin's Egg blue helmets coming down the street, I'm not asking questions. I'm just shooting. Okay. I don't. Why are you here? The only reason you're on U.S. soil, in my mind, is to fill a body bag. So that would be about it. All right, guys, I'm going to bed. Thank you all for stopping by tonight. We will see you in the morning, hopefully. And maybe we'll have some good news for a change, but I don't know. With this administration, I doubt it. Take care, guys. Prep on. Pinball out.